Most people think entrepreneurship is about the big idea or the perfect timing. Well, my guest today, Darral Bethel, and he's going to tell you how it's simpler than that. It's actually about consistency and pricing right and scaling what works. He's built a Turo car business by ignoring people who were not in the game and learning from online videos. So today we're going to break down how he did it and what he's learned about building assets that work for you. So this is the Execution Lab. Let's work. All right, everyone. So we want to welcome Mr. Darral Bethel to the show today. Now we'll take a moment of personal privilege. Now I've been knowing Darral for, gosh, almost 30 years now, man. Can you think like that? We went to college together. We were college roommates for, well, maybe a couple years, year or two in there. Just one of my dear friends, man. So welcome to the show, Dan. If you will, just introduce yourself and tell the people about you real quick.
Hey, I'm Darral Bethel. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also an assistant principal. I'm married for the last, 23 years. Got 2 kids. Got a junior in college and a senior in high school.
Great. Well, Darral, let's just jump right into it, man. I'm talking about in the intro about Turo. A lot of people have a question about that. So for the people who don't know, tell us what is Turo and how does your business work? Kind of give us a little more information on that.
Well, Turo is an app where you can go in and you can rent a car for a week, a month, a year.
Right.
And it's different types of cars and trucks, and it has different pricing. And as a Turo owner, you can set your own pricing according to what you think it should be, and you look at the market and see what the market is doing.
Okay, great. And we're gonna come back to the Turo. We're gonna
Okay.
come back to that. But take me back. First of all, I've been knowing you for a long time, and ever since I've been knowing you, you've been kind of like a bootleg entrepreneur, kind of like a bootleg mechanic, plumber, realtor. Take me back. Take the listeners back. What was the first thing that you sold or built when you were a young guy up in Georgia?
First thing I would say, when I was in elementary school, I was more of working down in the country life. I didn't really sell it. It was just working. When I was like probably like 9, 10 years old, I just did what the country folks did, which is like different things for as tobacco, tobacco and corn, all these different watermelon things. So those type of activities when I was young, just basic form, like we had chickens, hogs. So that built the work ethic that I have today.
Yeah, great. And you mentioned just a couple seconds ago that you're in education, and so being in education, give us a little more information about that role and what made you look at Turo and think, okay, this is my next move.
Okay. Well, I've been in education for 23 years. Currently, I'm assistant principal. Now, as far as education, look for the next opportunity. And looking for the next opportunity, Turo, we had an extra car. And we said, well, let's try Turo and see how it works. So what we did was we listed it, and then with trial and error, we became successful in it. And because you pick your price point, and that's the main thing, because you
Okay.
in it to make money.
Yeah.
So you pick your price point, and then you basically just go up and down with that. Also with your insurance, with Turo, the more liability you put on Turo, the less income you have. Like it's like at 70%. 80%, 90%. Well, I'm saying 90%, meaning that Turo is not responsible for as much insurance on my car. That means that I get paid more, but
Okay.
Turo has less liability.
Right.
And so it's formulas like that. So if you pick 70%, you'll get paid less, but Turo is more responsible for your car.
Gotcha. Okay. So the more liability you have, the more money you make, basically.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Well, walk me through that first time when you listed your car, because I think a lot of time entrepreneurs, whenever they're jumping out, they're launching out, it may be Turo, maybe something else. that first time you put your product out there, the first time you list the car, whatever. Like, what are those thoughts going through your head at that time? Tell me how what were you thinking when you put your first car on there on Turo?
Well, when I rent a car personally, I want to make sure it's clean.
Okay,
I want to make sure that someone wants to rent it, and it's a car that somebody wants to drive. Because if his car is not appealing to the eye, then it may sit for a while, and you may have it priced right. And a lot of people take the cars out of town, and they may take a family trip, and so you got to make sure it's clean. And then once you make sure it's clean, mechanically sound. It has to be, close to new tires on there because people are going to travel on it. The motor, transmission, all that got to be in tip top shape. And so once we make sure we get the car checked out and make sure that it's in tip top shape, then we got ready to list it. Then you have to take good photos of the car,
yep, yep,
and that way, again, that goes to the peeling of the eye. People want to be able to look there and say, hey, there's something I want to drive in. And then look online and see what the current cars like yours are being rented for. And then now Turo has this new thing now where if it's too high, it'll tell you by highlighting your price.
okay,
So of being a white, it'll be like orange or red, which means you were too high. Now you can let it stay there, but Turo has an algorithm, and you want to try to stay in that algorithm of Turo. And
okay.
also, you got at least list 15 photos of your car, so you can check all the criteria that Turo is looking for.
Hey, you tired of having brilliant ideas that never become reality? You're not alone. The Idea Execution Playbook reveals the exact four-step system successful entrepreneurs use to launch profitable businesses, even while working full-time. So stop letting great ideas die in your head. Transform any concept into cash flow with this proven roadmap. The link is in the description. Okay, so you got the pictures, you got the insurance in place, you checked out the algorithm, you got all of that, and now you come and you post it. And so
Yes,
what way were you kind of checking it every 5 minutes or waiting on the
I have the
email
alert.
notification? Tell me what were you feeling during that time?
Oh yeah, definitely had the alert set. Definitely had it set. One thing I forgot to mention. Now, insurance. Believe it or not, my insurance only went up like $15-20. It's called ride share insurance. So you get ride sharing insurance, and like all insurance companies don't carry that. Like I use Progressive. Progressive's pretty good. And so basically, when I did post the first one, we put it online and we set the notifications. And then when it hit, hey, what was it say? We like, boom, money, let's go. And so then they ring it for however long they ran it, and then eventually we saw that it's successful, and we like, hey, we can scale this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's kind of my next question going into this. So what happened after that? So you really kind of got your system down,
Mhm.
right? And then you said, okay, let's scale. So what was the next step?
Well, the next step, I would say it was, I ain't gonna say a misstep, but if I had to do it again, I'd do it a little bit differently. The next step, when you got a car, and so of course you want the car to be nice, and you don't want your price too much if you buying it, if you're financing it, you're not trying to have a high note because you got to recoup that and still make a profit.
That's right.
Well, I went and and probably spent about $10,000 more than I should.
Okay. Okay. Hey, that's what we want to know. Right. That's what we want to know.
And so I would say the sweet spot in my mind is between 10 and 12,000 on a good reliable car. And so and I spent 20 something thousand, almost going toward 30 on a particular car. And it's a nice car. And also, I've got an extended warranty on it because if some of the cars that are, I would say, prone to break, I ain't gonna say break down, but prone to have a history. When do your research on cars, you can
Hmm.
need to have some type of extended warranty because people are putting all these miles on there. If it break down, then who's going to repair it? Then you be on the hook for the bill, and then you have to still pay the car note, and you're not making a profit while your car is in the shop. So the scaling part now is priced between 10 and 12,000 is the car that we're looking for, and that's clean without any major scratches or dings, and something that someone wants to drive that's good on gas. Because a lot of customers will comment, "Oh, this car is good on gas. I didn't think it would be good on gas." So that kind of stuff.
Okay, okay. If you could go back to day one and someone who's already been in the tour business, or let's say old Darral, ain't quite old, current day Darral can look back at day
Mhm.
one Turo Darral. What advice would you give day one Turo Darral?
I would tell him to, that's a good question. I would tell him to, the market is up and down. Some days it's gonna be hot and he can be renting 3, 4 weeks in a row. And then next it may be dry for a little bit period. It depends on what's going on. Like currently now, um, it's after Christmas.
Yeah,
Everybody done spent a lot of money.
yeah, yeah.
So the hotel's not as busy, the tour industry is not as busy, but Valentine's Day is coming up,
It's
income
coming.
tax is coming up. And so as a result, uh, p- money is going to be injected back into the economy real soon. And so as a result, everything will get back busy.
Yeah. So sound like to me you saying patience.
Yes. So it's up and down. Now, we'll say this though: the my least expensive car is the most booked car because the price point is, and then also it's very clean. And it's low miles like on it. I think it was like 50 something thousand when I got the car.
Okay. Now I know a lot of people hear about a Turo or any venture, something similar to this, and they'll look at it, they'll listen to what you're doing, and but a lot of people afraid to make that jump. But you basically said you taught yourself through online videos. You're like,
Definitely.
right? Just so, are there any particular creators or any videos in particular that you learn things from, or tell me, did you learn everything from just watching YouTube videos?
A lot of it is just trial and error. And then what I didn't know, I went online and watched the videos and see how other people are doing it. Because you can always improve your service. And so you watch these videos, say, hey, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. Oh, I'm not doing that. Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't think about that.
yeah.
Like, for example, give you another thing. Discounts. When I first started, I would tell y'all, the today Daryl would tell the first time Daryl, stop giving all these discounts.
Oh,
Because
say it
you
again.
you give so many discount, it cuts. You give so many discount, it cuts into your profit. And so I was talking to someone about it, and like, oh, and who does Turo also. Oh, I don't give them anything. I said, nothing. I said, nah, nothing. And so
Yeah,
I tried it, and it still worked the same. Because if you're giving 10%, 20%, 30% off, and then also another thing I stopped doing is letting people rent the car for a month. And if you want to renew it every week, you can.
do
But
that.
when people rent it for a month, then you don't get the same amount as if you rent it for a week.
Yeah, and we've heard, horror stories about renting cars. I mean, just with those listening right there,
I got a couple.
when you rent a car, you're either gonna be extremely careful or you're gonna be like, okay, I don't care, it's not my car. And so are there any stories? Give me a horror story for the people about someone probably rented your car and didn't take good care of it.
Well, I have a 2022 Dodge Challenger GT. So it's kind of fast a little bit. Let this young lady rent the car, brought it back on a donut. Some think, okay, she had a blowout, whatever. Well, when I put my trunk and looking at the tire that blew out and looking at the tire that didn't blow out, her boyfriend did donuts in the car.
Wow, wow.
And because the inside of the tire was gone. And so first I'm upset because you did donuts in my car. And then when I called her, by grace of God, she's like, "Oh, I'll pay for it." So she paid for two brand new tires.
That's
She
good.
apologized. She's because there's another thing about Turo. You rate the customer, and the customer rates you. A lot of people use Turo to get back and forth to work, to take trips all the time when they don't want to put miles in their car. So most customers gonna take care of you if they mess your car up. And so I actually had two in the last year. Got a 4x4 truck. Someone the back, driver's side of the truck, someone deemed a light pole. They
Hmm.
said someone hit them. I don't believe that, but it was
Yeah.
okay. It was okay. It was okay because they compensated for that. And so you have cases like that, but you have to Turo has the insurance and you have the insurance. So between the two, you'll be okay.
Okay.
And then that was kind of keeps me like, hey, if something happens, and also gap insurance. On my cars, they're kind of expensive. I have gap insurance.
No, that's right.
And gap insurance is the gap between what insurance doesn't cover.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's smart move. Smart move. Make sure
Definitely.
you're fully insured. Fully insured on that. In our pre-conversation, you had mentioned um about kind of more of the motivation, kind of the mindset. You said you had to stop listening to people that were not in the business. And that's pointed. I mean, you don't have to name names, but who were you listening to? What were they telling you? And when you just finally like cut them off, so okay, I'm done listening to y'all.
Mostly just like associates and even some videos I watch. You have videos that say, "Hey, don't rent Turo because they did this in my car." Or you listen to certain people, and they'll say, "Don't do Turo because I have a friend and they destroyed their car." Well, when you do a business, when you're operating a business, it's a risk. So doing that operation, you assume the risk. But with Turo, I experienced that the reward is greater than the risk.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so, and then when you make sure you cross your T's and you dot your I's, you end up being okay. And then, but it's you in the business to make money. And in Turo, if you get the right car and you price it right, you're gonna make money.
Okay, all right, good point. Good point. Tell us what does a what does a week look like in your life in terms of Turo? Take us through possibly someone finding your car online, them paying for it. How do they pay for it? When they come to pick it up, how do you track them with the car? Give us a little more details on it, like a regular week. How did that process work?
Okay. Also, an adjustment I made was I used to give them a 12-hour notice. I can have your car ready. Now I do 24-hour notice.
Okay,
So that
okay,
way it'll
okay.
give myself a little wiggle room.
Yep.
So basically, I'll get a ding on my phone. It was if someone has rented the car, let's say for Wednesday. All right, today, if I get one tonight and someone was rented Wednesday, well, typically Tuesday afternoon, I'll get the car cleaned up and get it ready to go, get it gassed up because you want it to be on a full tank. So it's easy for them to put gas back in there. So if a half a tank or three-quarters, they can, finagle and not
Yeah.
do it right. So just keep it on full. So if I get the ding, I'll make sure this car is clean, gassed up. Now, when people get ready to rent my car, so everybody's different. Some people will have their car in a Walmart parking lot. Well, where I live at, I have two extra lots of land. So my car is on one lot of land and it's a dead end street. Our house is on the house down there. So basically when they come down there, I'll either unlock the car from my phone or I'll leave the key inside the car and the car unlocked. So when they pull up, they can just get the key and just drive off. I had anyone to complain yet about that particular process because it's easy. Like some people have a lock box where you got to do a code because they have a lock box on the window. Now we started out doing that. Our first car we had a lock box. We found out this is just simpler. Now we have a camera on the front of our house so we can see when someone's out there and they're getting the car. So basically, we make the process easy for them because once you put it down there, only one person should be down there getting the car. And we live on. For me, my situation a little different because we live on cul-de-sac. For
Okay.
other people, like I said, they put it at Walmart or some kind of store parking lot, and where they can pick it up from there.
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned earlier that you were scaling. So what's the plan for this year? You plan on scaling even more, or how many cars you look to add?
Well, the goal is at least add 5 cars this year.
Okay.
And so And it's all about pricing as far as where we get the cars from. Believe it or not, some one of the best places to get cars, and we've got most of our cars, and they're all not Mercedes and BMWs, is from Mercedes and BMW of Birmingham.
Okay.
They go to the auction, they get
Yeah.
cars that are priced just right, they'll come back and resell them, or they'll have customers who trade their cars in.
Yep.
And if
Yep.
someone's buying a BMW or Mercedes, if they trade their car in, more likely it's gonna be in good condition.
Okay. Okay. Um, and so last couple questions here before we wrap. I think we talked about before about success and reaching goals. What's a goal that you've set either in Turo or elsewhere that you're proud of, or one that you're chasing right now, like in 2026?
Well, for 2026, like I said, if I could add five, when I add five more cars to the inventory, then it'll free me up from doing, because I am an entrepreneur at heart. I got multiple things going on. So once I get a certain amount of cars, it'll allow me to have a certain amount of income, which also allow me to stop doing some things that I'm doing on the other side of the entrepreneur scope. And when you find one thing where you can make money, I'm not gonna say at ease, but easier, then you're more prone to lean toward that. And also, there's less time. I got the cars down to maybe 15 minutes. The car ready. I get a car ready in 15 minutes.
That's good.
So 15 minutes not that much time compared to I'm also a Uber driver. You
Yeah.
know, so that's a different two different areas. And so I rather have a two-roll than Uber. And there's other things I do also, but for this year, for 2026, by hopefully December, to have that fifth car in circulation and just have it in almost autopilot where how we got everything systematically down.
Okay. Okay. You got y'all. You know, he alluded to several other businesses. We don't have time on this podcast. I know. I know. I thought I was an entrepreneur. No, that's the man right here. Serial entrepreneur. When I say that, we don't have time. We may bring them back and talk about talk about the other ventures. But last question, Dale. Appreciate your time, man. What's the biggest lesson? This can be with Turo or any other business venture. What's the biggest lesson that just being an entrepreneur has taught you that applies way beyond just car rentals or Uber or real estate? Well, what is the biggest lesson you've learned?
Time. It may take a minute. And also associations. You want to associate with the people who are doing what you want to do, and you want to take good, sound advice. And also, you may take a lump along the way. You may make some mistakes and buy cars that are more expensive than you should buy. In outside your target area, but just know that with time and consistency, it's going to work out. And it's better to take small steps than to take big steps and have to come back and retract. And because on small steps, may not hurt you as much as a huge step if when you first start out. Because once you get in it and you understand what you're doing, small, medium, or large, won't be relevant. But when you first start, it is relevant
It is.
because you don't want to just jump out there too big when you first start anything. You want to start small.
Good advice. Good advice. Well, look, tell the people how can we find your cars on Turo? If we're in the Birmingham area, Bessemer area, how can we find your cars on Turo? How can we connect with you? And if we have more questions or the listener have more questions about Turo, how can they connect with you?
Well, I particularly don't have a website, but Turo lists my cars under my name and the particular cars that I have. Like if you need a truck, F-150, I have two of those listed. You
Okay.
want a sports car and you want to chill and with your friends, that Dodge Challenger is a car for you. So you
Yeah.
just type in Dodge Challenger. And when you
Okay.
type in, it's me a white Dodge Challenger. You'll see my name Darral there. Same thing with F. Ain't too many trucks listed. So if you need a truck, F-150, you can just type in F-150, and because they don't allow you to do name search, but you can do vehicle search. And then if you need a little small gas saver, I got a very nice Buick Encore, very nice on gas that you can just type in Buick Encore, then you'll see Darryl, my name Darryl B will come up, and you can just take it from there.
Okay, great. And what we'll do, we'll put a link in the description on this video right here. We're gonna make it easy for you.
Awesome.
We're gonna put a link up under there. We're gonna have his name there. Search the cars that he has available. Definitely take advantage of that. And also other information we'll definitely link below. So Darral, man, I appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, you more than welcome, man. I enjoyed it,
Appreciate
D.
you hanging out with your boy, man, for the night.
Without a doubt.
We're definitely gonna have you back, man, to talk about some other ventures that you have going on. But guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Till next time, go get it.
Without a doubt.